Сука! Сука, блядь! Блядь! Сука, 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 блядь! Блядь!
Hey there everyone, it's Jacob, and I'm here today to talk to you about the AKS-74U available at Azrael's Armoury. In this video we're going to be covering a few things. I'm going to start with an unboxing, then I'm going to go through some of its features, and then I will have a small presentation just to inform you of the battery relocation I have performed, as well as a firing test towards the end. As you can see, I have the box right here in front of me. It's a very high quality printed cardboard featuring the logo of Azrael's Armoury on the front, as well as some rules. I'm going to flash those rules up on screen for you to check out in your own time. Make sure you give them a look because they're very important. But without further ado, let's open this box. Now, as soon as you remove the lid, you're going to be greeted by a very thin layer of foam. Make sure you hold on to this because it's very important for transportation, as it provides a layer of protection on the top layer of your box. Within the box, you can see two main compartments. The top one is for the blaster itself, as well as any accessories that you may carry. The blaster also comes with a set of standard safety glasses, as you can see right here. As for myself, I already own a pair which is UV resistant and rated for higher protection, so for me, I use these ones. The next thing is the loudener. This increases the audio from your blaster itself. However, within the box there is also a cast metal muzzle brake, which I prefer the look of. If your field recommends that you have an orange tip, make sure you hold on to these, but for myself, I don't need it. The next thing is a plastic magazine. These magazines are compatible with the RX AKM, so if you have an RX AKM, you definitely already have a spare mag for your Azrael's blaster. If you're looking to purchase any more, make sure you go into shops and ask for compatible mags with the RX AKM. And for the final compartment, we have the blaster itself. When pulling it out, I find it's best to grab it by the wooden handguard and then another hand down on the foam to remove it. This is the blaster itself, and we'll now be moving on into the features. So the first component we'll be talking about is the metallic muzzle brake on the front end. This is the standard appearance of an AKS-74U. We then also have your front sight, which is adjustable, a wooden handguard, metallic rear sights, metallic dust cover, metallic receiver, metallic stock, and a plastic hand grip. We have the priming handle, which will reveal the bolt. This is also known as a dust cover or breech to some. We then have a button at the rear that when you press will release the lock for the dust cover. Within here you can see the top of your gearbox as well as the chamber for your standard 7.4 volt battery. I, however, have already rewired mine to put the battery in the rear stock, and I'll be showing you later how to perform this modification. On the other side of the blaster, we have a small release right here. When compressed, this releases the folding stock, and which you can fold and will catch a lever just in here to keep it folded. You can then release said latch, throw out the stock, and you're ready to go. When loading these, it's important to remember that these aren't a standard M4 and use what is known as a rock-in magazine. You want to line up the notch with this ledge in the mag release well, like so, and then push it backwards. You will then hear a click and the magazine is locked in. To release this mag, you need to press on this button After pressing said latch, the magazine will be released and you'll be able to load in another one. And you're good to go. With the features complete, we'll now move into the mod guide. After the mod guide, we'll be doing a firing test so you can see the statistics of this gun stock. So here we have the Azrael's AKS-74U. The plan is to change the battery location from here to being within the stock. The Turnigy's 11 volts, they can just sort of slide in here. Plan is we'll run a cable. There's a small gap down in here. You won't be able to see it from this angle, but then we'll run the cables out the back and yeah, change its terminal from Tamiya to Dean's, which is what I run. I run Dean's. Alright, so this one's stock right now, no changes have been made, and I'll check back in when I've made a bit of progress. And we are back. We have cut the wires off the old Tamiya plug that you can see right here, and I have substituted it with my own silver wire. I have labeled their polarity and then covered up the exposed wire or exposed solder with some electrical tape. Forgive the very hard to interpret bundles going on, but that's just sort of how this box is. There is quite a bunch up of wires in this location. But those new wires have been run under these clips. You can see, following my finger, they go down through a small gap and they exit the blaster at the back. So when this is all locked up, which you can see, there it is, clicked in, I'll be able to run the wires out the back and have a location for a battery in the stock. But I'll solder on to the Dean's connector and then show you what that looks like. And now the mod is complete. I have run the excess wires, as you can see, into the stock battery tube. So this just sits off to the side if I ever need to extend this point. You can feel free to just pull them along if you ever need to lengthen or shorten this. But yeah, you can see that it tucks in quite nicely here, and then comes all the way at the back. I've sorry about that video cutting short, I had to take a call. But as we were saying, you can see that the wires are insulated. I've just thrown a battery in to demonstrate how they fit. This is the 11 volt 3-cell Turnigy battery. It actually, because these puff up a little bit, when they're puffed up, they actually sit in here quite tight. So they do sit in there. They can come out fairly easily. It depends on how much they've puffed up. This blue one is a little more used than the yellow one, so it's got a little bit more width to it. But here you can see the insulated wires. To be honest, I don't think you really need anything flash to secure this down. I reckon just a piece of black Velcro would be perfectly suitable, or perhaps an elastic black piece of material, zip ties, electrical tape, literally anything would be totally fine to secure this battery in place. And you can just sort of stuff the wires down in, just fold them back on themselves, and through their own pressure, they'll keep themselves locked in. But you definitely probably want to have something extra to make sure that battery doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, that's about it for testing, completing this small mod to relocate the battery. Nothing too complex. I've given it a few tests. I think these batteries actually can't handle the discharge rate, but currently on 11 volt, I'm seeing 24 rounds a second in burst and about 15 on prolonged bursts. Hey everyone, it's Jacob here for a firing test. Now when handling these toys, don't forget to always wear your safety glasses. Camerawoman is also wearing her safety glasses, but without further ado, let's get into some full auto tests before moving on to semi-auto. As you can see on the right side, I have put the numbers into a graph, feel free to pause and have a look. I've included all of the necessary information that I think would be helpful. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to ask below and I'll happily explain anything. But as you can see from the results, a standard deviation of 6 is quite incredible. I'd call that quite accurate and consistent, as well as a really, really minimum FPS entry of 312, with the max being really close to 340, averaging at 330 very fairly, and understanding that I've done no performance enhancements, only rate of fire. The battery won't affect the feet per second, so this is completely stock. And that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this breakdown of the AKS-74U. If you're looking to get one for yourself, I'll be including a link to the website down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or leave a comment on how you think this video could be improved for next time. Anyway, I'll see you next time. This has been Gelballing with Jacob. Bye for now.
Day in the life of Gel Ball.
It's hot. Kill me, please.
Acapulco gold. If I had to guess just right, not a day old. Like a cradle robber, copter off shop, a trailer load. Know the right number, you can get her. And hit it while you with it, sold to the highest bidder, like fruits and berries. Bring daddy loot in a hurry. Just be cute and don't worry.